interested in a lot of things. I interview, I play the piano, I write poetry, I paint. I'm Jane Belau. I grew up in a small town, and at that particular time in history there was art and music and poetry everywhere. It was a very diverse culture that encouraged all of these activities, so you sort of grew up with it. Well, I was the Poet Laureate for the Rochester Veterans Memorial for many years. And I did poems and music for presentation at their programs. Mayor Ardell Brady asked me to be Rochester's first Poet Laureate. And he presented it at the council, and the council all voted to say, that's a wonderful idea. My job is to get people to read poetry, to write poetry, and to appreciate poetry. But I started drawing when I was quite young. But I guess I did my first painting for an exhibit in maybe 1974, 75. And it's grown from there. My goal with my paintings is to make spaces and people happy, and to brighten their lives and brighten the spaces and brighten the people. And you'll notice in my paintings I always use a little bit of gold leaf or silver leaf, and it really brightens up the colors. This painting, it's acrylic with gold leaf, is one of three called the Painted Desert Triptych. And when it's all done, it's like 9 feet by 4 feet in size. It's finished, but I can only show one piece at a time here. The administrator of the Samaritan Bethany Homes has invited artists to help make the environment at the homes like home. You know, wall art, pictures of flowers, pictures of trees, pictures of people. I was able to do specific pieces for specific places that would provide warmth and hominess. When I was thinking about this welcoming environment at the Samaritan Bethany Homes, I could think of a tree for shelter, a tree for looking at it and remembering its branches come down and just envelop you. And this is a gold leaf tree. It took a long time to do. I did one on pets, a great big one, a 4 by 6 foot painting of pets, and I used photographs of some of the pets that people had there, and then I put in a giraffe and an elephant and a pig, and that turned out quite well. Or I did a neighborhood, you know, a street scene. So I could use this to make the environment more friendly and make people happier. Welcome to this week's edition of the Belau Report. I'm Jane Belau. The television show was born in 1974. It was a year and a half after the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, declared that there should be local origination along with this privilege of carrying all these carriers through a cable. And I'd just come back from the President's Committee on Employment of Handicapped People, and several local people who'd been there said, "How about doing a television program for us?" I said, "Sure, we'll tape it and see how it goes." And that was the first one. And right after that aired, I was deluged with requests for programs. Now we talk about a bit of history. This program has a birthday this week. And God willing, next year we'll celebrate 40 years. So
what a lot of people don't know is that is the longest running public access program in cable in the United States.
Jane now has kind of established a pattern where she plays on Mondays and Thursdays from 10 till noon. And she's done that now for over 10 years. I think we found that the music softens the day, adds some diversity to the day, and as certainly with Jane Belau, offers a connection to music that can really help patients. Sometimes patients get great news and want to celebrate. Sometimes patients get not so good news, and they need someone to be able to share that with.
they'd just gotten this big, beautiful Bosendorfer grand piano from a benefactor. And I was really curious about how it sounded, and so while I was waiting for the doctor, I sat down and started playing some songs I knew, and all of a sudden there's a gathering of people around, and they're coming up and saying, "Do you know this one, or do you know that one?" And it was so much fun. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna come back and do this, because as I retired, I was trying to think of something useful to volunteer. Well, as it turned out, I'm busier than I was when I was working.
I'm Bob Hank, and this is my wife, Harriet. We're from White Bear Lake, Minnesota, and we're patients at the Mayo Clinic. We adjust our schedules so that we're here on Monday and Thursday so we can listen to her. There are times when I even shed tears when I hear some of these songs they sing.
Hopefully it helps them forget why they're there. You know, if you play songs that they heard many years ago and you play that song, and maybe for a minute or so they can forget the procedure that they're apprehensive about. Just takes them back to a happier time. A large part of talent is a gift. And there are a lot of gifted people in the world, but I was fortunate enough to be able to use those gifts. You say, what motivates me to perform? Stewardship of those gifts. Is I really believe that, as it says, him to whom much has been given, of him much is expected.